Video number 3 based on Gauss elimination method. In the previous videos, we solved 3 examples. 2 were based on unique solution, one was based on one was based on no solution. Today we will discuss an example where the system has infinite number of solution. So before starting that, we should know what the dependent and independent variables are. So starting with the definition says that after Gauss elimination method, the columns having no pivot entries are referred to as non-pivot columns, and those with pivot are called pivot columns. For example, see this matrix here. This is the final augmented matrix obtained after Gauss elimination method. The first column is corresponding to variable x1, second is corresponding to variable x2, third is corresponding to x3, fourth is corresponding to x4, fifth is corresponding to x5, sixth is corresponding to x6, and this is the right hand side scalars. Right? Now clearly in column number 1, the encircle entry is the pivot entry. In column number 3 we have pivot entry. In column number 6 we again have a pivot entry. So according to this definition, column number 1, 3rd and 6th are your pivot columns, while column number 2nd, 4th and 5th are non-pivot columns. So this is the definition for pivot and non-pivot columns. Now come to next definition, which is about independent and dependent variables. Definition says that the variables corresponding to non-pivot columns are your independent variables. Now since 1st, 3rd and 6th are your second, 4th and 5th are the non-pivot columns. Therefore, the variables x2, x4 and x6, x5 are your independent variables. And since the column number 1, 3rd and 6th contain pivot elements, therefore x1, x3 and x6 are your dependent variable. So I guess definition is clear. The variables for non-pivot are independent and those corresponding to pivot are dependent. Now come to this example. Here in this example I mentioned the thing that I said before. You have to identify the independent and dependent variables. So corresponding to the definition, x1, x3, x6 are dependent, while x2, x4 and x5 are your independent variables. Next example is example number 5, where you have to solve the system by using Gauss elimination method. So very first step is writing the augmented matrix corresponding to the given system. Then mention row 1 by R1, row 2 by R2, row 3 by R3, row 4 by R4. This is my first step. Now second, you have to start with 1, 1th entry and try to make it into 1. And this can be done by dividing R1 by 3. Since we are making changes in R1 only, R2, R3, R4 remains unchanged. So the resultant matrix becomes like this. So this is my first pivot entry. Next step is you have to convert all the elements below the pivot equal to 0. That is, you have to convert 2, 5 and 2 into 0. And this can be done by using row operation type 2. So to convert 2, I am using R2 going to R2 minus twice of R1. To convert 5 into 0, I am using R3 moving to R3 minus 5 times R1. And to convert this to, I am using R4 going to R4 minus twice of R1. After applying these row operations, the matrix gets transformed to this type of matrix. And since we are making changes in R3, R2 and R4, so R1 remains unchanged. So we can clearly see we are done with column number 1. So we will move to next column and next row, that is 2, 2th entry, that is minus 14 by 3, and try to convert it into 1. And this can be done by multiplying the complete row R2 by minus 3 by 14. Since we are making changes in R2 only, so R1, R3 and R4 remains unchanged and R2 gets transformed into 0, 1, -2, half and 4. So this one is my next pivot entry and it is in R2. After this, I have to convert the entries below pivot into 0. That is, I have to convert 28/3 and 13/3 into 0. And this can be done by using these two row operations. Since we are making changes in R3 and R4, so R1 and R2 remains unchanged and R3 and R4 gets transformed in this manner. So we are done with column number 2. Now we will move to next column, next row, that is 3, 3th entry. That is 0 here. We all know 0 can't be converted into 1. So we will search for a non-zero entry below this entry. But again we have 0 here. We don't have any further rows. So we will move to next column. That means we will move to 3, 4th entry. And try to make it equal to 1. But again here we have 0. So we will search for a non-zero entry below this number. And in this case, we finally got a non-zero entry, that is -13/2. So whenever you found a non-zero entry, then you will swap the row containing non-zero entry with this row. So for this, you will use the row operation R3 swapping with R4. After doing this, the matrix gets transformed into this manner. This R3 becomes R4 here and R4 becomes R3 here and R1 and R2 remains unchanged. Now this 3, 4th entry can become 1 by multiplying row 3 by -2/13. Since we are making changes in R3, so R1, R2, R4 remains unchanged. Next, so this one that we created here is my next pivot entry. After this, I have to convert all the elements below this pivot equal to 0, but they are already 0. And we have reached the augmentation bar as well. So we will stop our process here. So this matrix is my final augmented matrix. After this, you have to write the system corresponding to this final augmented matrix. And you can easily do that. So this is my system corresponding to the above matrix. I have mentioned this as equation number 1, this as equation number 2, this as equation number 3. The fourth equation is trivial, so we won't consider this now. From example equation number 3, x4 is -2. Then put the value of x4 in equation number 2, then you will get x2 is 2x3 plus 5. Now see. In the final augmented matrix, the column corresponding to x3 variable does not contain any pivot element. Therefore, x3 is my independent variable. Whenever the independent variable comes in picture, you have to assume some value of that independent variable. So, here I am assuming x3 equal to c, where c is some arbitrary constant, or you can say c is a member in the set of real numbers. Right? So I have mentioned the reasoning here as well. Since x3 is an independent variable, so let's assume x3 equal to c, where c is some arbitrary constant. When I put the value of c in this equation, then x2 becomes 5 plus twice of c. Now put the value of x2, x3 and x4 in equation number 1. I get x1 is 4 minus 3 times c. Right? So since we got the values of all the variables, so I can conclude the complete solution set of this system is x1, x2, x3, x4 equal to 4 minus 3c corresponding to x1, x2 is 5 plus 2c, x3 is c, x4 is -2, where c is in R. Please remember you have to mention where your c lies, right? So now for different values of c, you have different solutions. So clearly this system has infinite number of solutions. So this is example number 5 where you have to solve the system. Now see, if the examiner is asking you to solve the system and if that system has infinite number of solutions, then you have to do till here. But if examiner is asking find the particular solution of the given system, then what you have to do, you will solve the example till here, plus you will solve this remark also, that is, after writing till here that the system has infinite number of solution, you will also take some value of c. That is, here I took c equal to 1, then x1, x2, x3 and x4 become 1, 7, 1, minus 2 respectively, right? So this value that we obtained after putting some value of c is called my particular solution. So please keep in mind, if examiner is asking about particular solution, so after solving the example till here, you have to write this thing as well. Otherwise, if he is asking about only solving the system, you will do till here. I hope this is clear. Next, we have example number 6, where you have to solve the given system using Gauss elimination method, and you are given the final augmented matrix. So first you will assume this is corresponding to x1, this is corresponding to x2, this is corresponding to x3, x4, x5 and so on. Now clearly the columns corresponding to x1, x2, x4 contain pivot element, so they are dependent variables, while x3 and x5 are your independent variable. So first you have to identify them. Next step, you will write the system corresponding to the given final augmented matrix. Name all the equation, start from the last equation. From equation number 3, x4 is 9 plus 3 times x5. Now since x5 is independent variable, take x5 equal to a, then x4 becomes 9 plus 3a. Put the value of x4, x5 in equation number 2. You got x2 is 7 minus 3 times x3. Again x3 is your independent variable, you will assume some value of x3 here. So I wrote x3 equal to b, then x2 becomes 7 minus 3b, and when you place the value of all the variables in equation number 1, you will get x1 is minus 38 plus 13b minus 7a. Therefore, the complete solution set becomes this thing, where a and b are in the set of real numbers. So again, if examiner is asking about particular solution, you have to assume some value of a and b. For example, I took a equal to 2 and b equal to minus 1 here. Then my variables become x1 equal to minus 65, x2 equal to 10, x3 equal to minus 1, x4 equal to 15 and x5 equal to 2. So this is my particular solution for the given system. I hope these examples are clear. Otherwise, if you have any query, you can post your queries in the comment section. So this is all about your Gauss elimination method. In the next video, we will see what your Gauss-Jordan method is.